Do any of you guys have a deck that is just near and dear to your heart? Like, obviously, everyone has a deck that can be competitive and you can take to a locals and you can take to events, but do any of you guys have a deck that you just look at it and you just get a burst of serotonin directly into your brain? This is this deck for me, Chaos Blue Eyes. This deck, I didn't initially build it. This was an IRL deck that my roommate made that immediately resonated with me in a way that just that was just fun and pure, just good, and it can also compete very well. And this is a little bit of a different intro because this deck does have like a near and dear place in my heart, and I want to be able to share it with you because it is very competitive, it is very good, and I am just like genuinely excited to be able to showcase what I've been able to put together. We have replays at the end. I'm going in depth. We're just gonna get off to the races with this, but I am really excited, and I know that every Yugi tuber in the world says, you know, what's going on, guys? I'm really excited to get into this deck. I am genuinely happy and excited to show you this deck that is near and dear to my heart, that's really competitive, and that I love playing. So without any further ado, we're just going to go ahead and get straight into it. This is Chaos Blue Eyes. If you would be so generous as to hit that subscribe button, I would genuinely appreciate it. If you are into daily Master Duel content, replays, deck profiles, anything like that, hit the subscribe button, come hang out, kick your feet back, relax. Let's just have a good time with some Master Duel. So let's just get into this deck profile. So Chaos Blue Eyes, this is a rank 8 focused deck that goes so hard. It's so much fun to play. You have a lot of engines in here. You have the obviously the Blue Eyes engine, the Danger engine, as well as just lots of good generic rank 8 goodness in here. So we'll go ahead and just hop into it. The main focus of this deck, like I said, is the rank 8 engine. It is an OTK deck going second, but it can also put up formidable boards going first with multiple negates, as well as bounces with your Hieratic Seals, negates with the Photon Lord, as well as the Hope Harbinger. And there's a lot of ways to rank 8 spam this deck, and we'll just, I'll tell you all about it. So, first things first, playing 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon. It is, of course, the mainstay of the deck, pairing that with the Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. We'll get down to there in just a second. I said this in a previous deck profile, but does anyone else think that it's a little bit frustrating that you can't arrange the deck how you want it? It just kind of goes it goes like normal monsters, and then from there, when you get into the effect monsters, it just goes up by level. I find that a little bit frustrating, and let me know if you also find that a little bit frustrating as well. But anyway, we'll hop into it. Blue Eyes White Dragon, it's just it's the level 8 that you need to get out the alternative dragon. Danger Jackalope, getting into a couple of these. Danger Jackalope, all of the dangers share the same effect. If you don't know, you reveal it from your hand, and then your opponent chooses a random card. In Master Duel, the random card is chosen for you, and then that random card is discarded from your hand, and then if the discarded card was not the danger monster that you revealed, you special summon that monster and then draw a card. But if the discarded card was the danger monster or a different danger monster, all of the danger monsters have effects that trigger when they are discarded, and it does not have to be for cost like Dark World is. But for Danger Jackalope, it is if it's discarded, you're able to special summon any danger monster from your deck in defense position, except for Danger Jackalope, and it is limited to 2 because it is arguably one of the most powerful ones, but we play it at 2 just so we can get out any number of the level 8 dangers that we play, that being Bigfoot, the Thunderbird, and the Ogopogo. So that is what we have there. After that, we are playing 2 copies of the White Dragon Wyverbuster, as well as 2 copies of the Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. These are both limited to 1 in the TCG, but we play these just because they're so good. And if you open one of them, then it can be a little bit limiting, but they are at 2 in Master Duel, and we take full advantage of that. Neither one of them can be normal summoned or set. They have to be special summoned from your hand by banishing a dark monster from your graveyard in respect to the White Dragon Wyverbuster, and then a light monster for Collapse Serpent from your graveyard. So you have to banish the opposite attribute from what you have in your hand. And then when they are sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add the opposite one. So if you have the Wyverbuster and you this card leaves the field, you can add a Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, and that there is a combo that you do where you go into a striker dragon with one of them, add the opposite, and then go into other plays there. But we'll get to that when we get into the extra deck. I'm going to be going super in depth with this deck, so if you are enjoying the content, hit the like button, comment any questions that you have. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you have going forward, because these cards get a little bit convoluted, especially when we get into Star Liege Cipher and the Chaos space. But playing 3 copies of the Star Liege Cipher. So it's a level 4. It's really good to get your Chaos engine going. You can send any number of dragon monsters from your hand and or face-up field to the graveyard, and then add a dragon monster from your deck to your hand whose levels equal the total original levels of the monster you sent to the graveyard. So a little bit convoluted, but basically the combo here is that you normal summon the Seiphert, use the effect to send itself to add a copy of the Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, and then once the Collapse Serpent is in your hand, you can banish the Seiphert from the graveyard to summon the Collapse Serpent. Collapse Serpent go into the Striker Dragon, Collapse Serpent effect to add the Wyver Buster, and then just go into further plays there. So it's just a little engine that you can use to get into your end board plays, and is super consistent. The second effect is also really good of the Star Liege Seiphert. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a level 8 light or dark dragon monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. That's also extremely powerful. You can add things like the Alternative, or the Blue Eyes, or the Chaos Dragon Levianeer just to keep extending. It's a really powerful card, and we like to play it at 3 just because it is that good. More danger cards. Danger Nessie. Its effect when it's discarded is basically a Rhoda for the archetype. You can add any danger card from your deck to your hand, and most of the time that'll be one of the level 8 monsters, that being the Bigfoot, the Thunderbird, or the Ogopogo. Super straightforward. Play 2 of these. Really good card. We don't play it at 3 because it is not a level 8. It is a level 7, so it's a little bit awkward to try to get around, but we do play Galactic Spiral Dragon. That does help with the odd number, they're the odd leveled cards that we have in the deck, but we'll get to that when we get down to that. So after that, we're playing 2 copies of the Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. This card is, you can special summon it from your hand by revealing a Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then once per turn you can target a monster your opponent controls and destroy it. You can't attack the turn that you activate that, but it's really good to get into like board wipes to clear the way for the OTK with your number 100 Numeron Dragon. Super good. We play it at 2 because it bricks a little bit at 3, and we have lots of ways of searching it out. But just, yeah, super good for getting a level 8s on the board. 1 Chaos Dragon Levianeer, extremely good card. It can't be normal summoner set. It has to be special summoned from your hand by banishing 3 light and or dark monsters from your graveyard. And then when it's special summoned that way, you can activate one of the following effects. And then it cannot attack for the rest of the turn if you activate one of these effects. If you only banish light monsters, you can special summon a monster from your graveyard in defense position, so really good for extension. Only darks, shuffle 1 random card from your opponent's hand into the deck, and then both a combination of light and dark, you can destroy up to 2 cards on the field. So lots of utility there, lots of things that you can do for extension. Grindy games, you can get into that, so really good. We play 1 of that. It is also a level 8, so really good for getting into the level 8 plays. Danger Bigfoot, really good card. Your mainstay of the deck, Danger Bigfoot. When it is discarded, you pop a face-up card on your opponent's side of the field, and then it is just the level 8, really big 3000 beat stick. And then Thunderbird is basically the counterpart of the Bigfoot. When it's discarded, you can pop a face-down card on your opponent's side of the field. Just really good card. And we want to see these in our opening hand, so we play 3 of each, 3 of the Bigfoot, as well as 3 of the Thunderbird. And then to round out our Danger Engine, we are playing 2 of the Ogopogo. Now, Ogopogo's discard effect is basically a Foolish Burial for the archetype. If it's discarded, you can send any danger from the deck to the graveyard. We don't really care about that very much. There is an application where that would come up with a card over here called Archnemesis Escados. We'll get to that in just a second. But we play 2 of the Ogopogo just because it is a level 8 that we can get out very easily. Galactic Spiral Dragon is my favorite tech of this deck. It is so powerful. It is incredibly powerful. When this card is in your hand or the graveyard, insane. If this card is in your graveyard, you can activate this effect. If you control 2 or more light and or dark dragon monsters, you can special summon this card in defense position, but banish it when it leaves the field. So that's really good, but during your main phase, you can make all monsters you currently control become level 8 until the end of this turn. That is insane. So if you have a Jackalope or the Wyverbuster, Collapse Serpent, the Seyferts, the Nessie, any of these cards that aren't level 8, you can make them become level 8 and then go into your rank 8 plays in the extra deck. Galactic Spiral Dragon, I was playing it at 1. This card needs to be played at 2. I wouldn't play it at 3 just because it is a little bit of a brick if you open it, or if you open multiple copies of it, but Galactic Spiral Dragon is insane. It is such a good card. Play this deck, or play this card no matter what. Absolutely. Arguably the best card of the deck. It is insane. Another really cool tech choice here, the Chaos Creator. So, cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned from your hand by banishing a light and a dark monster from your graveyard. And then if you control this card that was special summoned from your hand, you can target 3 banished monsters with different names, special summon 1 of them, then place the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. So, Chaos Creator is just a really good late game late grind game, because we do banish a lot in this deck. Things like the Chaos Dragon Levianeer, basically our entire Chaos engine banishes a lot of cards. So if you're able to get the Chaos Creator into rotation, you're able to extend and return resources to the deck, and is just really good, and is a level 8, so that is also very good. So Chaos Creator is a really nice tech. The last tech, and really good, which is the Escados, is also searchable. This card, Archnemesis Escados, can't be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 3 monsters with different types from your graveyard and or face up field. So we play a ton of different types. We have Thunder, Dragon, Sea Serpent, Winged Beast, Aqua, Dragons, Beasts, and then just a ton of Dragons, Beasts. We have a ton of different types in this deck, so Escados fits perfectly in this deck, and it's also searchable by the Melody of Awakening Dragon. So it's really good. It fits right in, and basically it's a mini, if any of you have been playing the TCG, you will know Archnemesis Protos makes it so that neither player can special summon like attributes. This one does for types. So if you call a specific type, then your opponent won't be able to special summon it until the end of the next turn, which is incredible. If you're going first, you can call a monster if you know what your opponent is playing, or just anything like that. It's such a good card. It destroys the type called as well as prevents them from special summoning. So if you know that your opponent is playing a very, let's just say Cybers, like they're playing Salmongrate, for example, you call Cybers, it destroys all Cybers monsters, and then they will not be able to summon anything or any Cybers monsters until the end of their turn, and then when it gets passed back to you, you just call Cybers. Now, there does have to be that type of monster on the field already, so you aren't able to loop it as much, but if you're able to do, to even get at least one of this effect off, you should be fine for the rest of the turn. It's just so good. So, just keep that in mind. You're able to search it off of the Melody of Awakening Dragon because it has 3,000 and 2,500. Same stats as the Blue Eyes up here, so just really good. We are playing 2 one-ofs. We're playing the Monster Reborn, obviously, for just extension, as well as the Foolish Burial, because we want to see a lot of these cards in the graveyard for just different plays. For the Foolish Burial, I like to send the Galactic Spiral Dragon because it's so broken. This card is so good. You can activate it while it's in the graveyard, and we summon so many dragons in this deck that this effect is always going to be live. So Foolish Burial in this deck, really good. You can also use it if you have like an Escados in your hand and you need a third type to summon it out. You can Foolish Burial the third type of monster into the graveyard and then summon out the Escados. There's just a lot of different things that you can use the Foolish Burial for in this deck. This deck gets a lot of mileage out of Foolish Burial in these one-off techs. Trade-in, really good. We play a level 8 and rank 8 centric deck, so discard a level 8 monster, draw 2 cards, super simple. Play the Melody of Awakening Dragon, discard 1 card, add up to 2 dragon monsters with 3,000 or more attack and 2,500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. That's going to be your Blue Eyes White Dragon, your Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, your Chaos Dragon Levianeer, your Galactic Spiral Dragon, and your Archnemesis Escados. You cannot add the Galactic Spiral Dragon. I misspoke there. You cannot add the Galactic Spiral Dragon, but you can add the Archnemesis Escados. It is a dragon with 3,025. So lots of things that you can do. So if you have a Melody of Awakening Dragon, you can add the Blue Eyes as well as the alternative and just have a free level 8 special summon that can pop a monster on your opponent's side of the field. You can add the Chaos Dragon Levianeer and a blue and like an alternative dragon if you already have a Blue Eyes in your hand. There's a ton of things that you can do with this card, and the good thing about the trade-in and the Melody of Awakening Dragon is that they all, the discard effect cost for these trigger the effects of your danger monsters. So if you have something like a Jackalope in your hand, activate the effect of the Melody of Awakening Dragon to discard a card, discard your Jackalope, activate the effect of Jackalope to get out a free level 8. This deck is so consistent and so free at just doing what it wants to do, and the replays that I'll show at the end showcase what this deck is capable of. So yeah, just something to keep in mind with the trade-in and the Melody of Awakening Dragon is if you pitch these cards, you're able to activate the discard effects of these danger monsters. The last card in the main deck, we are playing 3 Chaos Space. Send 1 light or dark monster from your hand to the graveyard. Add 1 light or dark monster that cannot be normal or special summoned from your deck to your hand with a level from 4 to 8 and with a different attribute than that monster. So a little bit, if you didn't understand that, I wouldn't blame you, but just to give you an idea of what this does. So activate Chaos Space. Let's say you have a Wyverburster in your hand. You activate the effect of Chaos Space, pitching the Wyverburster. Then you can add a copy of the Collapse Serpent because it is the opposite of the light attribute, and with the same level. So you pitch the copy of Wyverburster and then add the Collapse Serpent, and then you can actually just use the effect of the Collapse Serpent to banish the Wyverburster that's in your graveyard, to special summon the Collapse Serpent, and then add the other copy of the like a second copy of the other one that you just sent to the graveyard, go into your Striker Dragon to get the other one, special summon the other one out, go into a copy of Seals, and you're perfect. The replays that I have at the end will showcase what this combo is capable of. So anyway, the other effect of Chaos Space is that you can banish this card from your graveyard and target one of your banished light or dark monsters that cannot be normal summoned or set, i.e. the White Dragon Wyverburster or the Collapse Serpent. And then return it to the bottom of the deck and then draw a card. So if you open the Chaos Space plus one of these guys, then you have just a free +1 while you're comboing into your copy of Spheres for your end board. You just draw a free card, return resources to the deck. Super good. So that is the main deck. This deck is super fun. It's super consistent at getting out just a ton of bodies and going into these super strong plays that you normally wouldn't be able to otherwise. And this deck is the best, arguably, in my opinion, the best at getting out bodies for these rank 8 plays. We'll get into the extra deck now, but like I said at the beginning, if you guys have any questions about this deck, feel free to comment them down in the comments. I do read comments. I try to be as responsive as I can be. So if you have any questions or suggestions for things that you would run a little bit differently, then let me know. I'm definitely receptive and want to become just a better player through response from my audience and stuff like that. So let me know what you think down in the comments. We'll go ahead and get into the extra deck now. Alright, so to start things off, we are running the staple rank 8 Draglubion engine. So what this does, it's any 2 level 8 monsters to go into Draglubion, detach a material to activate the effect that you can summon any numbered dragon monster from your extra deck, and then attach another numbered monster to that monster that you're summoned. And you can summon a couple different things in this deck. You can summon the number 100, which will be your OTK. You can summon the number 38, which is a spell negation, and then take it and attach it as material. Or you can summon the number 92. So I've included this package in a couple different deck profiles that I have done on the channel. So I'll try not to be too I'll try not to be too I'll take up too much of your time, but I'll just get into just a brief overview of what they do. So your number 100, which, by the way, not to flex or anything, but this royal rare for the number 100 is beautiful. Sorry about that. Anyway, so the number 100 dragon is your OTK machine. So you detach a material and it gains 1,000 attack per rank that is on the field. So at a base minimum, you'll have the Draglubion as well as the number 100, which is 9. So at a base, it'll have 9,000. And because there are so many ways to clear your opponent's board on this field with the effects of like Bigfoot, Chaos Dragon Legionnaire, the alternative White Dragon, you should most of the time be able to clear your way through your opponent's board to just get an easy 9,000 in for a direct attack and clear the game. So that is your main OTK machine. The other one, the number 38, is the spell negation, and then you take that card and attach it as material. It is also an attack redirection. So if your opponent attacks, if your opponent attacks, you can redirect it to Hope Harbinger. So if your opponent doesn't read their cards, which we all know that most Yu-Gi-Oh players don't read their cards, so if they're not paying attention, then you can get in just for some free damage and an advantage, and most of the time it'll just be destroyed. And then the other one is the number 92 Heart Earth Dragon. Now this puts your opponent on a clock. So when it's summoned at the end of your opponent's during your opponent's end phase, you can detach a material and then banish all cards your opponent currently controls that were normal or special summoned or were set this turn. And it can't be destroyed by battle, and your opponent takes any battle damage that you would have taken from attacks involving this card. So keep that in mind. Super good, just really nice thing that you can get out and just have on your board to put your opponent on a clock. Now, really cool engine here that we use is the Cipher Dragon, the Full Armor Photon Dragon, and the Cipher Blade Dragon. So 2 level 8 monsters get this guy out. He doesn't really do anything, but you slap Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Photon Dragon on top of it. You can, so on top of this guy being just a 4,000 attack monster, you're able to just slap it on top of the Cipher Dragon because its summoning condition allows it to be used, or allows it to be summoned on top of a Galaxy Eyes Exceed monster that you control. So once per turn, you can target detach a material and target a face-up card your opponent controls and destroy it. So you'll already have 2 materials on this. With this, so you'll have 3 total material for this, so you can go into the Full Armor Photon Dragon, detach to pop a card on your opponent's side of the field, then you can overlay and do a copy of the Galaxy Eyes Cipher Blade Dragon, and it is just a really big beefy monster, and it also has the option of detaching a material and then destroying another card on your opponent's side of the field. So what you can do is you can go into the Cipher Dragon, go into the Full Armor Photon Dragon, use the effect to detach to pop a monster or to pop a card on your opponent's side of the field, attack with this to get over something, then go main phase 2 into a copy of the Cipher Blade Dragon. If you want to clear up more of your opponent's board, you can use this effect to detach and destroy more on your opponent's side of the field, and then go into a Zeus if you want to. Zeus, board nuke, and then you'll have so much just material for Zeus to go into. If you don't want to use the effects of these cards and just want to get over something with a 4,000 body to go into Zeus, then you'll have multiple triggers of Zeus and enough material to use it for these board wipes if you want to do that. And that is honestly one of my favorite combos to do in the deck. The Cipher Dragon into the Full Armor Photon Dragon into the Cipher Dragon, the Cipher Blade Dragon into the Zeus is so powerful and so consistent. But another thing that you can do as well, if you are able to have a base 4 level 8 monsters on your side of the field, you can use the Cipher, the Cipher line to go into pops, clear up your board, and then use the other overlay to go into Draglubion, into your number 100 to just go in after you've cleared the way using your Full Armor Photon and your Cipher Blade Dragon. The one thing to note, the one really important thing to keep in mind with this combo though, is that you want to make sure that the Draglubion effect to summon is the last thing that you do, because you cannot special summon other monsters or declare an attack except with that special summon monster. So make sure that you go into whatever you want to summon otherwise first, and just save the Draglubion line for the last thing that you summon, because you will hit a wall and you won't be able to summon out anything else, and you'll just have a couple monsters just floating on your field that you could have used to go into negation if you were going first, or a bunch of pops if you were going second. So keep that in mind, you'll be golden. Now, the number 90 Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord, while we have the number 38 Hope Harbinger for spell negation, your Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord is a monster negation. So it's just generic 2 level 8 monsters. When your opponent activates, when opponent's monster activates its effect, quick effect, you can detach a material and negate the effect. And then if there is a Galaxy card as material, you can destroy that card. Not super important, but just monster negation if you want to insulate yourself while going through the number 100 line going second, or you can just have monster negation while you're going first if you want to set this up instead of your Hope Harbinger line. So just keep that in mind, something to think about. So that's it for the Exceed monsters. We'll get into the last of these Link monsters, and then we'll hop into some replays. Thank you so much for sticking around, guys. I really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button if you're new and you're enjoying this this content that I'm putting out. But yeah, we'll get into these Link monsters. So we're playing 1 Striker Dragon. We're not using it for its effects. We are using it specifically as Link material, or we go into it off of either the Collapse Serpent or the Wyvern Buster. Like I mentioned, the combo is use either the Seifert or the Chaos Space to add a copy of either the Wyvern Buster or the Collapse Serpent, depending on if you sent it off as Seifert. Summon out one of them, go into a Striker Dragon. Once this one leaves the field, add the other one, special summon the one that you add, and then use the Striker Dragon and that second Wyvern Buster to go into a Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres. Which we'll get into now. We're playing 2 copies of the Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres. It's 2 dragon monsters with the line that I just showed you. Once per opponent's turn, if this card is in the extra monster zone, quick effect, you contribute 1 monster from your hand or face-up field. Return 1 face-up card on the field to the hand. If this card is, and then if this card is tributed, special summon a dragon monster from your hand or deck, and make its attack and defense 0 once per turn. All the time, you want to make sure your EMZ is occupied by Heavenly Spheres. So use the effect on your opponent's turn to bounce back, but also it's not just a interruption for your opponent. If you use the effect to tribute itself to get out any of your dragon monsters. Typically, I like to get Galactic Spiral Dragon into circulation if it's not already, because even if your opponent gets over it, throughout the turn, because its attack and defense will be 0, it'll still just be in the graveyard to do whatever you want with it. You can use it on follow up to get into level 8 and rank 8 plays. It's just really good. So disruption for your opponent, as well as just extension and further follow up on the next turn. So we're playing 2 of these. Just a really good card. So we're playing 1 IP Masquerena. There is a combo with IP Masquerena that isn't showcased in the replays that I have. I'll just kind of briefly go over it. So with IP Masquerena, what you can do is get out a copy of the Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres, as well as an IP Masquerena, pass it to your opponent. Then there's multiple levels of interaction that you can do here. So what you can do is your opponent is just going through their plays, activate this copy of Spheres to bounce something on their side of the field, get out, just say, a Galactic Spiral Dragon, and then go from there. Your opponent's making more plays. You can activate the effect of the IP Masquerena to link off the IP Masquerena as well as the Galactic Spiral Dragon, get the Galactic Spiral Dragon in the graveyard to go into a copy of Nightmare Unicorn, and then Nightmare Unicorn's effect, which is the next card, and I'll explain right now. When it's summoned, discard a card, and target a card on the field, and shuffle it into the deck. So it's just more bounce back and shuffles on your opponent's side of the field. So Heretic Seal and IP Masquerena both together. I wish I could have gotten footage for this combo specifically, but if you are able to end on Heretic Seal and IP Masquerena, it's just multiple layers of interruption and just good stuff. So, and then when it gets passed back to you, you have a Nightmare Unicorn on your side of the field, and then if you're able to get any monster out, you can go into the last card here, which is an Access Code Talker, just really good for late games if your initial rank 8 plays just get negated or interrupted. Nightmare Unicorn and one other monster to go into the Access Code Talker. use the effect when it's summoned to target the Nightmare Unicorn to gain 3,000 attack, so 5,300 attack. And then we have lights and darks as far as the effect of the access code target. The access code target, you banish the link monsters based on their attribute once per turn to banish or to target and destroy cards on your opponent's side of the field, which just makes it easy for OTK pushes and things along those lines. So this is the deck. This is what I have constructed. It is such a fun deck. I love this deck so much. I really hope that you enjoy this deck too. We're going to hop into some replays. I hope that you have been enjoying the content. Like I said, hit the subscribe button. Let me know if you have any questions. And yeah, I will see you in just a second with the replays. All right, so hopping into these games right here. So I want to emphasize this first replay is how to not play the deck. This is how you don't want to play the deck. This is one of the first replays that I got into, and I just played like shit. I didn't read my cards, and I just got absolutely obliterated by my opponents. This is how you do not want to play the deck. And in further replays, I have 3 or 4 more for you, so stick around for those. It'll show what the deck is capable of, but this is how you do not play the deck. It does not matter that I opened horribly. It doesn't matter what you end up doing beyond that point. This is how you do not play the deck. So we are going first. We're going to normal summon this copy of Starliege Cipher and activate the effect. I did not read the card, and I kind of got mixed up on the mechanics of Master Duel, so I only wanted to send 1 copy of Starliege Cipher. I accidentally sent both of them. It didn't matter anyway because they did have the Ash Blossom in hand to do their plays. Negates our Starliege Cipher. From there, we activate the Melody of Awakening Dragon, pitching the Blue Eyes White Dragon to add a copy of the. To add another copy of Blue Eyes as well as alternative. If I was being smart about this, I would have pitched the Wyver Burster and added a copy of the alternative dragon as well as the Chaos Dragon Levianeer, because then I could have banished three monsters. I could have banished 3 and then gone into other plays to get out an additional copy of something, and then I would have been able to end on the Dragoobleon line and to go into negates there. But from here, I was just being stupid. I used the effect of the Cipher to add back a copy of the Blue Eyes White Dragon, and just this play is nonsense. I literally just end on a Blue Eyes alternative dragon, and I'm just gonna speed up what my opponent is doing here. They are playing Dragon Link, and they absolutely obliterate us. Nice royal rare striker dragon, by the way. That looks amazing. But yeah, this is how you do not want to play the deck. In retrospective, I could have done so many different things here to be able to go into at least one overlay of something that would actually be useful for the deck, you know? But I was just being stupid. I wasn't reading the cards, and I also messed up what the mechanic of Master Duel, which I didn't have to send both of them. I could have only sent one and gone into further plays there. But from here, our opponent is just going to go through the motions to go through Dragon Link plays. I did actually put out a Dragon Link deck profile and a beginner's guide for this deck, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and check that out. It is also on my channel. But yeah, they're just going ham. They're getting out everything that they can here, so not a whole lot to say here. They're just getting out everything that they can. And so far, they have the Borreload Savage, the Hot Red, as well as the Chaos Dragon Levianeer, and they're going to use this effect here to get out here and just absolutely obliterate me. So, again, this is how you do not want to play the deck, and for good reason. I was punished hard for how I played. So, just a heads up, be careful, read your cards when you're playing through this deck. Let's hop into some games that actually showcase what this deck is capable of. All right, so we are going first, and we open pretty decent. So what we are going to do, we are going to start off with a copy of the Chaos Space. We're going to pitch the copy of Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, because the Collapse Serpent and the Wyvern Burster aren't limited like they are in the TCG, this deck is so much more powerful even if we open a copy of either of them, because we can still add the other copy from the deck. Wyvern Burster here is going to banish the copy of the Collapse Serpent that we have in the graveyard. Chaos Space here is going to be able to banish itself, return the copy of the Collapse Serpent to the deck, and draw us a copy of Melody of Awakening Dragon. That is amazing. So from here, we're going to go into a Striker Dragon here. Use the effect of the Wyvern Burster to add a copy of the Collapse Serpent. Use the use the Wyvern Burster to summon out the Collapse Serpent, and from here we can activate Melody of Awakening Dragon. We're going to pitch the second copy of Chaos Space to add a Blue Eyes White Dragon, as well as a Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. Use the summoning condition to get out Alternative by revealing the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Use the Striker Dragon and the Collapse Serpent to go into a Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. And then use the effect of the Collapse Serpent to add us a copy of the White Dragon Wyvern Burster. Now we are going to normal summon Starly Schaefer, because we have not normal summoned this turn yet, to use the effect to add us a copy of the Galactic Spiral Dragon, pitching the Blue Eyes White Dragon from our hand, which just the synergy in this deck is so amazing. So Galactic Spiral Dragon will be able to summon itself because we control 2 or more dark, light and or dark dragon monsters. So we can summon it. Now we can get out the Chaos Dragon Levianeer from our hand by banishing 3 light and or dark monsters. Use the effect of the Spiral Dragon to make all monsters we control level 8. And now we can go into a number 38 Hope Harbinger Dragon here. And go into a Dragooblion here. Use the effect of the Dragooblion. Remember, that's the last thing that you want to do, because after you use the effect, you are not able to summon or attack with anything else. So this is a pretty decent end board. We have a Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, a number 38 Hope Harbinger, as well as a Heart Earth Dragon. So this is a really good board, and follow up with the Dragooblion line going forward. So also just, again, really good things to keep in mind here. So we're going to pass it back to our opponent, and our opponent is, for these replays, I'd really just like to show what the deck is capable of, take you through the different combo lines in this deck, show you what it can end on, and the different ways of piloting this deck. Just the really straightforward stuff. So our opponent is going to activate Tri-Brigade Standoff, and we're going to chain the Hope Harbinger to negate the spell card and then attach it as material. And then after that, they are going to hit us with the Lightning Storm. Now, unfortunately, we are forced to use the Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, and we are going to return the Hope Harbinger to the extra deck. And then Lightning Storm will resolve without effect. The spheres will get us out a copy of the Galactic Spiral Dragon, and they will normal summon Beckoned by the World Chalice, getting over our Galactic Spiral Dragon. Main phase 2, end phase, we are going to banish their entire field with the effect of the Heart Earth Dragon. And that is number 92 Heart Earth Dragon working exactly how it's supposed to. So that was really awesome to see there. So from here, what we can do, now we're going to use the effect of the Dragooblion to get out, again, the Hope Harbinger Dragon. And then we can attach the other one to it as material. Chaos Space, banish it, and they're just going to scoop from there. There were a couple different things I could have done there. If I didn't use the Dragooblion first thing there, then I could have gone into other plays and got out more. I got another copy of Seals, or I could have just pushed for game, getting out more monsters from the graveyard and stuff like that. But it didn't end up mattering. I just want to show you how this deck is able to play. So we'll get into a couple more replays. I'll see you in just a second. All right. Next replay here, our opponent is going first, and these next couple replays are just showcasing really what this deck is capable of and what this deck should be doing going second in OTKing. So our opponent is playing Galaxy and Photon, so they're gonna use the effects, attach the orbital, add a copy of the Galaxy Knights, normal summon the Photon Vanisher, special summon the Galaxy Knight. Galaxy Knight will half its attack. Galaxy Brave is going to overlay into the Starliege Photon Blast Dragon, activate the effect of Galaxy Expedition to get out a copy of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. After that, they are going to overlay into a copy of Galaxy Eyes Cipher Dragon, and then into a copy of the Galaxy Eyes Cipher X Dragon. Pretty formidable, but nothing that we aren't able to take care of here. So what we are going to do Our opening hand is cracked, by the way. We opened really good. So what we're going to do, we're going to set this copy of Monster Reborn so the Danger won't accidentally discard it. But what we're going to do, unfortunately, Danger Bigfoot is going to discard itself, but the Bigfoot will be able to destroy the Photon Blast Dragon, and we couldn't destroy the Cipher X Dragon because the effect of the Photon Blast Dragon prevented or basically protected the Cipher X Dragon. So we had to get rid of the Photon Burst before we could get to the Cipher X Dragon. So from here, what we are doing, Ogopogo, unfortunately, again, hits itself, but we are going to mill a copy of Nessie from our deck. But now we can use the copy of Chaos Dragon Levianeer, get it out, and then use the effect to shuffle back the last card in their hand. And from here, we can just use the effect of Monster Reborn to grab their own Galaxy Brave, overlay into a copy of Draglubion effect to get out the nice Royal Rare number 100 Dragon. Number 100 Numeron Dragon will be able to get 19,000 attack because it does take into consideration all of the combined ranks on the field, not just what we have on our side of the field. So they have a rank 10 plus an 8 plus a 9, that is 19,000, and we can just attack over this Galaxy Eyes Cipher X Dragon for 15,000 attack and just absolutely obliterate their entire life. So I love this deck. Well, let's get into some more replays. Couple more replays for you, just showcasing again what the deck is capable of going second now. Again, we opened so good. So our opponent is going first. They're going to activate Unexpected Die, and again, these decks aren't they're not super competitive. I know I can get some more footage if you guys prefer if you guys would like to see more meta competitive duels, but for these like beginner guides and these deck profiles, I really just want to show what the deck is capable of and the combo paths that you want to take, just so you are knowledgeable about what the deck is capable of. So on our turn, we're going to draw for turn, second copy of Melody of Awakening Dragon. So we're going to use the effect of the Melody of Awakening Dragon, pitching the Galactic Spiral Dragon. We want the Galactic Spiral Dragon either in our hand or in the graveyard, so this makes no difference to us where it is on the field, in the hand or in the graveyard. So now we're going to add a copy of the Blue Eyes White Dragon as well as the Alternative Dragon, and from here we're going to summon out the Alternative, revealing the Blue Eyes. Now we're going to use the second copy of Melody of Awakening Dragon, adding the Levianeer as well as the Escados. Remember, the Escados is searchable by Melody of Awakening Dragon. Remember to keep that in mind. So from here, we're going to activate the effect of the Ogopogo, hitting the Levianeer, unfortunately, but that's completely fine. Now we drew the Thunderbird. Thunderbird effect, pitching the Escados, unfortunately, which is again fine. Monster Reborn is going to be able to get us back the Galactic Spiral Dragon. We would have been able to do it anyway, but you know, completely fine. And from here, we're just going to overlay into a copy of the Galaxy X Cipher Blade, and this is the combo that I love. Then this is what I wanted to show you. So from here, we're going to overlay into a copy of the Full Armor Photon Dragon, and then overlay into a copy of the Galaxy Cipher Blade Dragon. And this is the effect. We're just wanting to clean up our opponent's back row. If they had something like a Mirror Force or a Magic Cylinder, then we would have been completely screwed here. But we want to make sure that our opponent's back row is completely devoid of anything that would be able to impede our OTK plays. So we're going to activate the effect here, detaching and destroying their back row, and then from here we can just go unimpeded into the Draglubion line to get out our Royal Rare, number 100, Numeron Dragon. Numeron Dragon's effect will be able to get up to 18,000 attack. Again, you love to see that super high number and just attack over any attack position monster for insane amounts of damage, and that is just how you want to play the deck. So we have one last replay for you, and then I'm just going to pass it off to you, and I hope that you guys have a good time with this deck. All right, so last replay here. I hope you guys have enjoyed your time with me, and you know, we'll see you in the future, hopefully. Hit the subscribe button if you are enjoying. So our opponent's going first. They're going to set 1, set 2, and pass it back to us. And again, there's like no hand in this deck that is bad. So what we're going to do, we're going to activate the effect of the Danger Bigfoot, and it hits itself. Danger Bigfoot is this was some weird luck. So we activated 2 copies of Danger Bigfoot, and they both both the times hit themselves. It was absolutely ridiculous. The worst luck I've ever had in my entire life. It was kind of wacky. So we're going to normal summon the Cipher, activate the Cipher to add the Collapse Serpent. Collapse Serpent effect will be able to summon itself out. Foolish Burial, we are going to send a copy of the Levianeer. And then from here, we're going to go into a Striker Dragon. Effect of the Collapse Serpent to add a copy of the Wyver Burster. We're going to activate the effect of the Melody of Awakening Dragon, pitching the Galactic Spiral Dragon to add a copy of the Alternative and the White Dragon. Going to get out the copy of the Wyver Burster by banishing a Bigfoot, not the worst thing in the world. Then we're going to get out a copy of the Galactic Spiral Dragon, using the Alternative, or the Blue Eyes, to get out the Alternative. Alternative is going to destroy this set monster. And then Galactic Spiral Dragon here, using its effect to make all monsters level 8. From here, easy, we can go into Draglubion. Draglubion to get out the number 100 effect to detach, go into an easy 9,000 direct, and that's just game. So, guys, I hope you have enjoyed. I really like this deck. Like I was saying at the very beginning, this is a deck that is near and dear to my heart. And I would love to hear what decks you love to see too. Maybe I can put a different spin on them. I'm doing lots of deck profiles and combos and replays and whatnot. So I hope you've enjoyed. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. I would love to hear from you. And we will just, I hope to see you guys soon. So take care. Until tomorrow, I have been Spellslinger. Take care.